In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to create a yearly interactive calendar in Excel. It works for Google Sheets as well. You can use the calendar as a template, update the year, and get the calendar for that year. Best thing though about this Excel calendar is it just needs one formula to create it. I know you're thinking, it must be a horrifying, crazy formula. We've had those on the channel, but let me just show you. Okay, so this is where we're going to create our calendar. What we want is input the year here and all our dates update according to that year. So first thing we're going to need are our headers, which are our weekdays. So let's start off with Sunday and let's just pull this over until Saturday. So now what we're going to do is write one single function that's going to spill and get us everything. But we're going to do it step by step. The function we need here is the sequence function. All this need is the number of rows it should spill to, the number of columns, the start number, and the step. So the number of rows is clear, right? We want our results to spill to 53 rows. Number of columns is clear too. It's 7. We have 7 days in a week. The tricky part is the start, because the number that ends up below Sunday has to be a date that belongs to Sunday. Now, it doesn't have to be the first Sunday of the year, because take a look at our 2020 calendar. The first Sunday of the year is actually on the second row. The first Sunday on the calendar belongs to the previous year. It's the 29th. So to keep things simple for now, I'm just going to add a placeholder number. I'll just put a 1. We're going to figure this out in a second. What step? Well, step is the number we want to increment this by, and we want to go a day at a time, so it's going to be 1. Now, both of these last two arguments are optional. So if I ignore them, 1 is the default. I'm just putting it in so that it's obvious what we're doing here. And take a look at this. I press enter, and I get my numbers all the way down for 53 weeks. Okay, so now let's take a look at the tricky part. I put a 1 as a placeholder, but we need to find the correct date. Let's just put a dummy date here. I'll just use the date function and assume that this is the 1st of January 2020. For year, let's just select this. Then we need the month, so we're going to put 1 for January and 1 for the day. Now, when I close the bracket and press enter, I get the number value that's associated to the 1st of January 2020. If I switch this to a date, I see my date correctly. So we can use the date function here, but we need to figure out the correct date because currently this is incorrect. 1st of January belongs to a Wednesday. So how could we figure this out in a dynamic way? Well, let's do this to the side up here. We know that we can use the date function to get the 1st of that year, just like we did before. We need to figure out what weekday is associated with this date. Here I can use the weekday function. All I need is my date here. Close bracket, press enter. Now what does 4 mean? Well, 4 means Wednesday. How do I know that? Under return type, which is an optional argument, 1 means Sunday, 7 means Saturday. That's the default if we skip this argument. If you wanted 1 to be a Monday and 7 to be a Sunday, you can go with this option. Or you can go with number 3 if you want Monday to be a 0, right? So you have different options here. When I skip it, it means go with the default, but I need to somehow figure out the date for Sunday. Well, all I need to do is take the first day of the month and deduct the 4 here. Now, does that do the job for me? I get a date back. It's the 28th of December. Well, if I go 4 back, I'm going 1 extra day. So I have to adjust it by 1. So I'm going to add a 1. And that's the first Sunday that's going to show up on our calendar. So let's combine these formulas into a single formula. Copy this one in this formula here. So instead of K2, I'm going to use the function I used. Now let's also take the date function and copy it in this one. So instead of J2, we're going to paste in the date function. I don't need all of these. I'm going to copy this, go to my formula here, and paste this as my start date. Now, press enter. We have the correct date for Sunday. Let's update our formatting for the rest as well. Let's go to custom number formatting. So I'm going to press Ctrl+1 to bring up the number formatting. We can do our own custom format, or we can go to date and pick a shorter date because this is just too long for our calendar and it's not necessary to show the year. So I'm going to go with this one here. Click on OK, and that's that. Let's update the size of our columns as well. Okay, so far, so good. It would be nice to add some formatting to this as well. So first thing I want to do is add borders to these, just light gray borders. So let's go to more borders, pick a gray color and add it inside and outside and go with OK. Now next thing I'm going to do is to add conditional formatting because I want to make the dates that don't belong to this year in a lighter color. With this area highlighted, go to conditional formatting and add a new rule. I want to use a formula, and that formula is to check this value here and compare it to the year of our date here. So I'm going to go with does not equal to the year function, and we want to look at this, but we need to take away the dollar signs because we want this to be flexible. We want it to look at each single date here and not at the dates just sitting in B5. D2 we want to fully fix. Now let's go and format these to be a light gray color. So just the font, I'll go with this one, click on OK, OK, and now it looks better. When I scroll down, these ones are also grayed out. Okay, so another thing I want to do to be able to distinguish the different months, let's add a color to every other month. So with this area highlighted, go back to conditional formatting and add another rule. Now I need to figure out a formula that's going to help me identify every other month. A great one that can help me do that is the mod function. This is going to give me the remainder after a number is divided by a divisor. So in this case, my number is actually my month number. So if I take a look at this date here, and again, I want to take away the fixing here, but I don't want to look at the date. I want to look at the month that's associated with this date. So I have to put this inside the month function. Now my divisor, I'm going to go with 2 because in the first case, my month number, let's say when it's January, my month number is a 1. When my divisor is a 2, my remainder is 1. So it means that I can format this differently. In the next month, my month number is 2. When my divisor is 2, there is no remainder, it's 0. And the pattern continues. So I have a separate video covering the mod function in more detail. I'm going to link it in the description and also in the cards. Now let's go ahead to format, go to the fill color, highlight these in a different color, click on OK, OK, and we have our formatting automatically applied. Now, if we don't want the formatting to be applied here, what we can do is update our conditional formatting rules. So let's go to Manage Rules. Let's just change the order of this. We want the gray part to be first, and then if it's true, we want the rule to stop. So we don't want this one to run anymore. Let's click on OK. Now this part should disappear. Okay, so now let's test this. I'm going to change this to 2021 and Friday is the 1st of January. I can double check here. My calendar is fully interactive and it updates automatically. The only function it needed was this one. That was our interactive yearly calendar in Excel. You can also use the same formula in Google Sheets. This is why I'm so excited about dynamic arrays. A simple function that spills, like the sequence function, can be supercharged to become a template for a yearly calendar. If you'd like to learn more about these new functions in Microsoft 365, check out the playlist I have here. Link to it is in the description as well. If you'd like to learn all of this in a structured way, whether it's Excel or Google Sheets, check out my courses on excelplus.com. It's great to have you here. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget that thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'm going to see you in the next video.